We wake up every morning facing the unknown, a new day, a fresh page. And yet so many of us carry yesterday's doubts into today's opportunities. But if you want to conquer each day, not just survive it, but truly own it, you need structure. Not rigid routines, but guiding rules, 5 of them. These aren't hacks, these are mindsets. They don't guarantee ease, but they guarantee clarity. And clarity is the sharpest weapon you can carry into a chaotic world. Rule 1. Win the first hour. What you do in the first 60 minutes sets the tone for the next 23 hours. Don't start with chaos, start with control. Wake up with intention. No phone, no emails, just your thoughts, your journal, your breath. Start from strength, not stress. Rule 2. Move with purpose, not pressure. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. The goal is not to fill your calendar, but to fill your actions with meaning. Start with what matters. One small task that moves your life forward. Win that, then move to the next. Rule 3. Protect your mind. The world is loud. Filters are survival. You have to be ruthless with what you allow in. Feed your mind something good. A book, a walk, a quiet reflection. Don't let negativity steal your clarity. Don't let noise blur your vision. Rule 4. Speak to yourself like someone you respect. Too many people conquer tasks but lose to their own self-talk. Stop. You don't need more critics. You need a coach. You need a teammate. And that starts with you. Be kind, be clear, be accountable, but never cruel. Rule 5. End with reflection, not reaction. Don't close your day scrolling. Close it by asking, what did I learn today? What did I do right? Where can I be better tomorrow? Growth comes not from doing more, but from learning deeper. Don't let the day end without extracting wisdom from it. The first hour of your day is not just a measure of time. It's the foundation of your entire mindset and momentum. What you do, think, and feel in those first 60 minutes has the power to shape your decisions, your energy, and even your emotional resilience for the rest of the day. Most people don't realize how vulnerable the mind is when it first wakes up. It's like soft clay, easily shaped by whatever you expose it to. If the first thing you do is reach for your phone, check the news, or scroll through social media, you're letting the world rush into your mind before you've even grounded yourself. That's not starting the day, it's surrendering it. Momentum isn't something that magically appears halfway through the afternoon. It starts early. Think about how different your energy is when you wake up slowly, breathe, stretch, write a few thoughts down, or reflect on something you're grateful for. Compare that to the days when you jump out of bed in panic, running late, already behind. The difference isn't time, it's intention. That's why your first hour needs to be protected like sacred territory. It's your mental launch pad. If you want your day to be focused, calm, and productive, you must begin it in alignment with those same qualities. You're not just brushing your teeth or drinking coffee. You're telling your brain, this is the rhythm I move to. A slow, steady, intentional start programs your mind for clarity. And clarity is rare in today's distracted world. When you win your first hour, you reclaim your power from the start. You tell the world, I'm not here to react. I'm here to create. You become proactive instead of reactive. You begin with what you choose, your thoughts, your goals, your energy, not what someone else throws at you. Even simple things can become powerful rituals in this hour. Journaling clears mental clutter. Movement awakens your body. Reading something inspirational uplifts your focus. Silence helps you listen to what's really going on inside. And the beauty is, you don't need hours of time, just discipline, consistency, awareness. Momentum is not about being in a hurry, it's about being in control. People spend their whole day chasing focus, not realizing they lost it the moment they started without a plan. But when you take control of your first hour, you begin your day from a place of ownership. You're no longer reacting to alarms, messages, and demands. You're choosing how to think, how to feel, and how to act. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. The first hour is your greatest advantage, your mental training ground, and your emotional compass. What you do with it determines not just how your day unfolds, but how your life feels over time. Because if you can win your morning, you can win your day. And if you can win enough days, you can change your life. Productivity is one of the most misunderstood concepts in our modern world. We've been conditioned to believe that being busy is the same as being productive, that the more tasks we check off, the more successful we are. But the truth is, real productivity has nothing to do with how full your schedule is. It has everything to do with whether the actions you're taking actually matter. It's about depth, not density. It's not about how many things you're doing. It's about whether the things you're doing are meaningful and aligned with your goals. Filling your calendar with endless meetings, tasks, and errands may make you feel accomplished in the moment, but often it's just noise. You move through the day reacting, rushing, and surviving, rather than intentionally creating and progressing. This illusion of progress is dangerous because it keeps you busy enough to avoid discomfort, but not focused enough to make real progress. And in the end, you feel drained, but not fulfilled. Productivity requires clarity. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about what truly matters. That means asking hard questions. Does this task move me closer to my purpose? Is this priority mine, or is it someone else's expectation? Am I doing this to look busy, or because it actually creates value? When you slow down and ask those questions, you begin to realize that most of the things cluttering your day are distractions disguised as obligations. And when you eliminate those distractions, something powerful happens. You create space. Space to think. Space to execute. Space to grow. Real productivity is focused and deliberate. It's when you sit down, cut through the noise, and commit to doing the few things that will make the biggest difference. Sometimes that's one deep work session. Sometimes it's one honest conversation. Sometimes it's saying no to 10 things, so you can say yes to the one that matters. It's not glamorous. It's not always visible to others. But it's real. The people who accomplish the most aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who are most clear on why they do what they do. What they do. They prioritize, they simplify, and they execute with purpose. They don't let urgency win over importance. They understand that being deliberate is more powerful than being busy. In fact, the most productive people often appear the least busy because they've mastered the art of focus. They know that 5 hours of intentional work is worth more than 15 hours of scattered effort. When you stop measuring your worth by how much you've scheduled and start measuring it by how much meaning you've created, everything changes. You stop trying to do more, and you start trying to do what matters. You stop glorifying exhaustion and start celebrating clarity. That's what true productivity is. Not the size of your to-do list, but the impact of your action. Not the hours you work, but the results that work creates. Mental clarity is not something you stumble upon by accident. It's something you must protect and cultivate with intention. In today's world, noise is everywhere. It comes from your phone before you even open your eyes. It follows you in notifications, emails, advertisements, news alerts, conversations, and even your own internal dialogue. That noise is not just distracting. It's damaging. It scatters your focus, clutters your thinking, and weakens your decision-making. If you want to think clearly, feel centered, and act with confidence, you have to guard your mind like it's your most valuable resource. Because it is. However, we've normalized the idea that it's okay to be constantly stimulated. We move from app to app, message to message, headline to headline, and we tell ourselves we're staying informed or connected. But what we're really doing is draining our mental energy before we've even begun our most important work. Every bit of noise we absorb takes up space in our minds, leaving less room for what really matters: creative thought, intentional action, and emotional stability. Mental clarity starts with subtraction. It's not about finding more things to think about. It's about creating space to think deeply. That means saying no more often. That means turning off notifications that demand your attention but offer you nothing in return. It means stepping back from people, platforms, and environments that fill your mind with anxiety, drama, or noise. The world will not slow down for you. You have to create that stillness yourself. You don't need to escape to a mountaintop or go on a retreat to clear your mind. You need moments. A few minutes of quiet in the morning. A walk without your phone. An afternoon with your thoughts instead of music, media, or conversation. When you give your mind breathing room, it rewards you with insight, peace, and sharper thinking. You begin to separate your own voice from the voices of the world. You remember what you value. You remember what you're working toward. And you begin to move through life with more certainty and less confusion. Mental clarity is also about boundaries. It's about being selective with what you consume. Not every podcast, book, or video needs your time. Not every opinion deserves your reaction. Just like you wouldn't eat everything you find on the street, you shouldn't mentally digest everything that shows up in your feed. Protect your inputs. Curate your environment. Choose silence over noise when you can, and depth over speed when you must. Clarity is not the absence of thought, it's the presence of meaningful thought. And to access it, you must create space, protect that space, and return to it often. The clearer your mind, the stronger your choices. The stronger your choices, the better your life becomes. You don't need more information, you need more silence, more focus, and more intention. In a noisy world, clarity is your competitive advantage, and protecting it is your daily responsibility. The way you talk to yourself determines how you face challenges, how you bounce back from failure, and how you carry yourself through everyday life. Positive self-talk is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing the voice inside your head that helps you move forward instead of holding you back. It builds resilience because it turns setbacks into learning moments and mistakes into stepping stones. It creates daily confidence because it affirms your worth, your effort, and your ability to grow. When the world becomes overwhelming, your inner dialogue is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Many people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love. They criticize, doubt, and shame themselves in silence. This negative self-talk chips away at confidence, limits potential, and creates a loop of fear and hesitation. It's not the failure that breaks them, it's the story they tell themselves about the failure. The truth is, you cannot build a strong, resilient life on a foundation of internal hostility. If your inner voice constantly questions your value, every external success will feel temporary and hollow. On the other hand, positive self-talk doesn't mean you ignore your flaws or dismiss your shortcomings. It means you recognize them without judgment and speak to yourself with the same encouragement and support you would offer a close friend. It means when you fall short, you say, "That didn't go as planned, but I'm learning," instead of, "I always mess things up." It means when you're afraid, you say, "I'm feeling fear, but I can take one small step anyway," instead of, "I'll never be able to do this." Well, I'll never be able to do this. These subtle shifts create a powerful mental environment for growth. The more you practice this kind of internal dialogue, the more automatic it becomes. And as it becomes part of your daily mindset, your resilience grows. You start to face discomfort with curiosity instead of panic. You start to view difficult situations as tests, not threats. Confidence becomes something you generate from within, rather than something you wait to receive from the outside world. You stop needing constant validation from others because your own voice becomes enough. What makes positive self-talk so effective is that it's always available. You don't need tools or motivation to access it. You just need awareness. You need to notice when your internal dialogue turns toxic and choose to rewrite the script. Even one encouraging sentence, repeated at the right moment, can be the difference between giving up and pushing through. Over time, these small affirmations compound into real belief, and that belief becomes the fuel for action. Resilience isn't about never falling, it's about always rising. And you rise faster, stronger, and with more purpose when your inner voice lifts you up instead of dragging you down. Positive self-talk is not fluff. It's not weakness. It's mental strength. And it is one of the most important daily habits you can build if you want to thrive in a challenging world. At the end of each day, most people rush to disconnect. They scroll through their phones, fall asleep to background noise, or mentally check out the moment they're done with work. But reflection, the simple act of pausing and thinking back over the day, is one of the most powerful tools for growth and self-awareness. It doesn't require hours of journaling or deep analysis. It just requires attention, honesty, and a few quiet moments where you meet yourself with curiosity rather than criticism. Reflection allows you to extract lessons from your experiences. Every day brings opportunities, challenges, interactions, and decisions. Without reflection, these moments pass by unnoticed. But when you look back on your day with intention, you begin to see patterns. You notice what energized you and what drained you. You recognize when you acted in alignment with your values and when you let emotions or distractions steer you off course. This awareness gives you the power to make better choices tomorrow. You stop repeating old mistakes simply because you start to see them clearly. Growth doesn't come from doing more, it comes from learning more deeply. And reflection turns daily experience into a teacher. It creates a mental space where you can celebrate small wins, acknowledge areas that need improvement, and reinforce the habits you want to keep. When you ask yourself, "What did I do well today?" you start building confidence. When you ask, where could I have handled something better? You build maturity. And when you ask, what do I want to carry into tomorrow? You build vision. Reflection also helps regulate your emotions. It gives you the chance to release what you've been holding on to: stress, frustration, guilt, disappointment. Rather than letting those emotions build up, you give them space to be processed. You give your mind closure before sleep. And in doing so, you wake up lighter, clearer, and more grounded. Many people go through their days in a blur, reacting instead of responding, but reflection slows you down just enough to reclaim control. It helps you see not just what happened, but how you showed up in the process. It reconnects you with your goals, your standards, and your inner compass. It reminds you that growth is not about dramatic change. It's about small, consistent adjustments made through awareness and intention. Most importantly, reflection deepens your relationship with yourself. It turns your inner voice from a critic into a guide. You begin to listen to your thoughts, not just think them. You begin to observe your behavior, not just justify it. And from that place of self-awareness, you develop not just knowledge, but wisdom. Taking even 10 minutes to reflect at the end of your day is a quiet, powerful way to evolve. It's a pause that becomes progress. It's how you turn life into learning. And over time, that learning becomes the foundation for the person you're becoming, day by day, with eyes wide open. A purposeful routine is not about doing the same thing every day out of habit. It's about doing the right things consistently because they align with your values, goals, and vision. It's the difference between going through the motions and moving through life with direction. Most people wake up and react to their day. They rush into obligations, jump from task to task, and check boxes just to feel like they're keeping up. But when your day is ruled by reaction, you might complete it, yet feel like you didn't really live it. Purposeful routines change that. They give structure to your time and meaning to your actions. When you craft routines based on intention rather than obligation, you give yourself a system for momentum. You don't have to think about what to do next. You've already made the decision once. This frees up mental energy for deeper work, clearer thinking, and more creativity. You start the day not with chaos, but with clarity. That initial grounding sets the tone for how you face challenges, manage distractions, and pursue your goals. It becomes easier to focus because you've built the discipline of choosing where your attention goes, instead of letting it be pulled by everything around you. Routines are more than schedules. They're habits with purpose. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, even small actions begin to feel meaningful. Morning rituals can center your mindset. Midday pauses can refresh your focus. Evening reflections can sharpen your growth. Each part of your day becomes a tool, not a trap. You no longer feel like time is controlling you. You're the one steering it. The power of a purposeful routine is that it reduces friction. You don't need to wake up every morning and motivate yourself from scratch. You've already built the foundation that supports your energy and decision-making. You show up with consistency, not just when you feel inspired. And over time, that consistency compounds into confidence. You begin to trust yourself more, not because of one big breakthrough, but you've shown up again and again with purpose. This kind of routine doesn't have to be rigid. In fact, flexibility is part of its strength. Life happens, plans change. But when your actions are tied to purpose, you can adapt without losing direction. You understand the why behind your routine, so even when the how shifts, the intention remains. Ultimately, completing a day should feel like more than just surviving it. You should feel like you moved towards something meaningful, that your time wasn't just spent. It was invested. Purposeful routines give you that feeling. They align your actions with your values and your time with your mission. They transform daily life from a list of tasks into a system of progress. And in doing so, they empower you not just to finish the day, but to truly conquer it, with clarity, energy, and intent. So don't just aim to finish your day, aim to own it. Let your actions be guided by purpose, not pressure. Let your routines reflect your values, not just your responsibilities. Because when you lead each day with clarity, focus, and intention, you're not just passing time, you're building a life. One meaningful action at a time. One intentional moment at a time. That's how you conquer the day, and that's how you rise every single day with strength, purpose, and unshakable direction.